How to do the US single crochet or UK double crochet. Once you've got the hang of doing your slip knot and your chain stitches, I'll post the link to that video in the description, you're ready to move on to some more basic crochet stitches. The US single or UK double crochet is the perfect one to start. Remember that UK and US terms are different, but the stitch is the same. I am working with a chunky weight yarn and a 6mm hook. And to start, we want to do our slip knot. You can do this however you like, and then pop our hook into there. Then we want to get hold of our yarn however we have decided is most comfortable. Now I want to end up with 10 single crochets, so what I'm going to do is chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And then I'm going to do one extra one, which is going to count as what we call our turning chain. So when we work back along these chains, it will kind of help us work around that corner and just bring us to the height of the single crochet stitch. So when we are doing a single crochet, we will normally work into the second chain from the hook. And if we remember, we don't count the loop on the hook, and look at these little V's. So this is the first one, and that is the second one. This is the one that we're going to be working into. We want to have a look at that little V, and we're going to go underneath this top loop of the chain. Some people will go under this top loop and the back loop, but to start with, as a beginner, I would definitely recommend just using the top loop for now. For our single crochet, what we're going to do is yarn over and pull up a loop. And I tend to hold the work with my middle finger and my thumb just to create a nice tension, and then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops that are on our hook. And there you have our first single crochet stitch. I'll show you that again. We've done this chain, now we're working into the next chain because we want 1 per chain. So we're going to go under that top loop with our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, use our middle finger and thumb to hold the work, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on our hook. If we have a quick look at the top of these stitches, you can see we're creating more V shapes, which is where we will work into when we work back along this way for our second row. So I'll do it one more time and then I will work to the end and show you how to work up to the second row. So third chain, hook underneath that top loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So I'll work along to the end and then I will meet you there. So now we have our first full row of single crochet, and at this point what we can do is just double check we've got the correct amount of stitches. So we wanted 10, we obviously don't count this loop, so count the little V's like we did with the chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which is perfect. We haven't added any extra stitches and we obviously haven't missed any chains. So to get to our second row, what we need to do is chain 1, and that is our turning chain. Then we're going to turn our work, and that turning chain just brings us to the height of the stitches we're going to do for this row. So what we need to do now is, because our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, we're going into this first stitch and we look along the top, we can see the V shapes. That is what we're going to go underneath. Our hook is going to go into this hole here and under both of those loops. You see the little V, and then as before, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And there is your first single crochet for your second row. And what we can do at this point, if we want to, is take our stitch marker and put it in the top of that stitch. And what this will do is we're going to work obviously all the way along this row, and then when we come back the other direction and we get to this stitch with the stitch marker in it, we know that that is the last stitch. So we're not going to miss it and get our piece going narrower, and we're not going to add extras and make our piece wider. You could have put one in your first single crochet of your first row as well, so that when you go along on your second row, you know when you get to that stitch, that is your last one. You haven't missed any and you haven't gained any. Now back to our second row of single crochet. So we've done the first stitch, and then we're looking for that second V shape, which is what we're going to go underneath, making sure we go into both loops, through that hole there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. and then the third one, so we're going into that next hole, underneath that next V, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Again, I'll work to the end of this row and I will meet you back there. And there we have our second row of US single crochet, and again we can double check our stitch count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect, we haven't added any and we haven't missed any. So we can move on to our third row. Chain 1, again, turn our work, and then carry on like we did before. So insert our hook into that very first stitch and do our single crochets just like we did for the first 2 rows. Now this is where the stitch marker comes in handy, because as you can see, we've just got to the last one, which is where the marker is. So we know we can take that out, put our stitch in there, and that is the last one of the third row. So there it is, your US single crochet or UK double crochet. Now once you've got the hang of this one, you can come back and learn some more basic crochet stitches.